want to welcome all of you for being here. And I thank you for your patience. We were a few minutes behind, but it's wonderful to be starting now. First, because there are several individuals who may not be familiar with Sudhesh, I will introduce the speaker and then I'll just give one or two sentences on the topic. Sudhesh Pillutla is originally from Nellore in Andhra Pradesh. This is, I believe, the fourth in a series of lectures, spiritual lectures, we have had in this room over the last year and a half or so. Sudhesh he has become now an erudite scholar in various fields of dharma, various philosophies of dharma. We had a talk on Advaita. Today's talk will be on Soundarya Lahari, a framework for spiritual living. With this brief topic, with this brief introduction, and also since we are running late, you came to hear him, I would request Sudhesh to come and take over.
Quickly, the restroom is right behind you if you want to use, and you want water or any snacks or anything, just raise your hand. I'm going to get it. Please don't hesitate. We have water, we have a lemonade, homemade lemonade, and then buttermilk and snacks like murku, chakli, healthy oatmeal biscuits and whatever.
श्रीमात्रे नमः वागर्धाविव सम्पृक्तौ वागर्धप्रतिपत्तये जगतः पितरौ वन्दे पार्वती परमेश्वरौ ह्रीङ्कारासनगर्भितां नरसिकां सौक्लीं कलाबिभ्रतीं सौवर्णां वरधारिणीं वरसुधां दौतां त्रिनोत्रोज्ज्वलां वन्दे पुस्तकपाशमङ्कुशधरां षड्भूषिताम् उज्ज्वलां त्वां गौरीं त्रिपुरां परात्मिकां Pratmika Kalam, Sri Chakra Sancharani. Sri Gurubhyo Namah. With prostrations to my gurus, Swami Sri Paramarthananda of Chennai, who is a disciple of Swami Dayananda Saraswati of Ashwavidya, who himself is a disciple of Swami Chinmayananda, who, though I'm not a direct Sishya, but I've been listening to his Advaita Darshana talks for a long time, and he gave me the foundations for the rootedness required to understand Vedanta very well. Then my direct guru, Brahmasri Sri Samvedam Shanmukh Sharma Garu, who taught me that without bhavana, Vedanta can be dangerous. And I'm so glad that about 15, 16 years back, I met Swami Brahmasri Samvedam Shanmukh Sharma Garu, so that I become more rooted in understanding the general spirituality of Bharatiyata. Because Vedanta, without proper bhavana, may lead to a sattvic ahankara, where we tend to think that the Ishvara, Saguna Ishvara Upasana is very belittling, very beneath our scientific inquiry, our rational thinking, and we go into more of who am I mode, what Vedanta teaches, and don't get that requisite understanding, the intrinsic knowledge required to really understand the vision of Vedanta. So I prostrate to my both gurus, and many gurus I met in the process from whom I learned a lot. And thank Mr. Ramohan and Manaka Garu for arranging this talk. And for all of you, with so much hope you came. This time is so precious and time is so important. You are able to take some time off from your busy schedule and come and sit here, hoping that what I'm going to speak is something of valuable to you all. So I would hope that Mother will stay on my tongue and make me say what I want to say, not for my own Santa Buddhi, that whatever is in scriptures that I learned from my gurus that comes out of my mouth, I will not speak anything that is not true. I hope Mother will give me that presence of mind today. And today's topic that I chose, the title that I chose, I said Soundarya Lahari, a framework for purposeful spiritual life. That is the topic title I chose, and I thought about what I want to speak, and I chose each letter, each word with some idea. What is that I chose a particular letter? And this, like Ram Mohan Garu said, these are the series of lectures I've been, I would say, instead of lecture and pravachanam, which assumes, when I say pravachanam, it assumes that I know more than you. And I'm prakrushtena vachanam karoti pravachanam, that my talk is so good that it's pravachanam. I want to say that it is satsangam, that I don't want to assume that I know much more than you all. So that, because I'm still a student, and let us call this satsangam so that we both share what we learned. And Ram Mohan Garu and Manaka Garu have been doing this, and there is a theme with which I approach any topic. Because there are great speakers like Samal Sammu Sharma, so many, Chaganti Garu, so many in Telugu, and of course in every language. They gave fantastic pravachanam, bhashyam about Soundarya Lahari. I'm sure most of you must have heard it on the YouTube somewhere, or maybe in direct presence of those great men. And I'm in no way comparable with them in the erudition, in the knowledge, in the understanding multi-layered meaning of it. But I have a theme with which I approach every topic. I want to see why we do what we do. Because we have been doing the spiritual, most of us, in some form or other, doing a spiritual journey for the last 30, 40, 50 years. And we had to question why we are doing it. Have we become any better in all this while, right? Is it a spiritual entertainment that we do? We felt very good when we do it. But when we face the rigmaroles of life, we're back to where we were, right? So unless we contextualize why we approach anything, we really won't make use of our time properly. That's my feeling. For example, if I ask anybody, say, come to my talk, and the person is not very interested in this one, he says, waste of my time. One who doesn't believe in spirituality or even the divinity, they say, it's waste of my time. But you know, the word waste of my time, only human being uses. Only human being use the word waste with respect to time. No other animal says time is waste, because for them, that value of time is not there. They live very instinctively. Whereas a modern man who negates divinity and the so-called the cause of all causes and say, I don't believe in that. And they say we are just like another human, another animal. Okay. When they're arguing with us, they compare themselves with an animal, albeit a better equipped animal. But with respect to life and death, they don't see any difference. Animal lives very indulgently, does things whenever they want to do something, and we do same thing. So most of the human beings, when they talk in the modern material science background, they say there's no divinity in a sense. But even then, they use the word waste of my time. Okay, what is waste of my time means? Means that the present time has some value using which I can become better. Right? My present state, I want to become better tomorrow, and I have time now, and I want to use this time. And the time I want to use, I want to become better tomorrow. So to become better tomorrow is an intrinsic desire of a human being. No other animal thinks that I want to become better tomorrow. That means that human being at a primordial level, somewhere in the deep guts, know that the present state is not really good. Right? Otherwise, they wouldn't have used the word waste of time. Right? But they know that my present state is not really optimum. And they think that by doing something that they want to become better. That means that human being also know that there's something lacking, that they feel that lack of something, and they want to gain something to become full. That is inherent. Whether you believe in spirituality, believe in anything, human being thinks that my present state can be better tomorrow. I can do certain things, and by doing certain things, I can become better tomorrow. What is that drives human being to do things to become better tomorrow? There must be some delta from the expectation to the present state that drives them. The great minds have thought about it. They said, and Gita is very profound in making this very clear. Bhagavad Gita starts with verse 11 in chapters 2. Gita means the word of God, starts with 11th one as a advice to Arjuna, and ends on the 66 words of 18th chapter. It starts with Asocha Nanya Socha Swam Pratnyavadan Sabhate Gata Suni Gata Suchananu Sochan Pandita. Start with Suchaha, suffering. Then it says Sarvadharman Parityaja Mamekam Sarnavaja Aham Sarva Papebhyo Moksham Ischami Ma Suchaha. The teaching starts with Sucha, suffering, ends with getting rid of suffering. So the life journey is suffering, understanding that I have suffering, and getting rid of suffering. Understanding that I have that feeling that I am not complete, I have a delta that I want to achieve, that we all feel, to come to a state where I feel complete, so that I don't have any suffering. That is the complete way the great visionaries, Vedavyasa, through Krishna, has said that this is what your life is. Okay? The purpose that I put in my title, the purpose of every human being is to become complete. Whether you believe in any ism, doesn't matter. If I don't have good body, I want to get a better body. That is the purpose. The feeling of lack of good physique and getting back good physique is the delta that somebody is driving. Or lack of financial resources to become wealthier tomorrow is also a delta that drives us. So everywhere that delta is what drives us. That is the purpose of a human being. Animals don't have this kind of purpose. Animals are very instinctive. They feel hungry, they eat. They want to procreate, they procreate. They don't have this planning and execution and the strategy. They don't have all those things, at least the way we observe things. So that is the purpose I deliberately put in my title. Okay, because life needs a purpose. A human life needs a purpose. So to get that, what do we need to do? Okay, I know that I have to do something to go to my end goal of being complete. That is called spirituality. That path we take to go from where I am today in my mind to where I want to go is, in dharmic parlance, is called spiritual. Spiritual is not something, an alternative science that is practiced by certain traditional people. I can choose not to do that by being very materialistic and I can get there. It's not that. Spirituality is that set of things that I want to do that will take me from here to there. Unfortunately, in the modern context, spirituality has taken a different meaning, and people are thinking that being spiritual is not required. When I ask some people, some kids, why don't you do this? They say, it's not a priority to me now. Right now, my priority is to make money or get some position or get some nice physique. This is not priority. That means that they're not atheists. They're not like, I don't believe in God. They do believe in God. They go to temples and all. But in their mind, they think, I can postpone this. Okay, it's not a priority to me. Today, let me go to my gym and work out. Let me go make money. Let me do a lot of other things. Get my social security, that status and all. This is not a priority to me. But you don't take a steroid today to become better physique without knowing that they may have side effects. Steroids have side effects. So you cannot compartmentalize this journey and say, let me do this first and let me deal with the other thing later, because everything we do has a side effect. So spirituality is that science that takes you from here to there. So that is the vision in Gita. So what is the solution that Lord Krishna gave, Bhagavan Krishna gave us? He said, you recognize that you have suffering. And we all know that we all have suffering. What is suffering? Suffering in a very simple sense, that incompleteness. I want something. And if I don't get that, I feel bad. That's what in a simple way that is suffering is. Suffering is not, I got hurt and my leg is hurting. Not that. Suffering is that constant tambura going in the back of our mind that says that I want something, I'm not happy. I want something, I'm not happy. Krishna says, the solution is only two. 65th verse in 18th chapter and 66th verse in the 18th chapter are the summary of the entire teaching of Bhagavad Gita. He says, Manmana bhava madbhaktaha madhyaji mam namaskuru. That is 65th verse. Then 66th verse is Sarvadharman Parityajya. In the entire 650 or 600 verses of Gita, he finally tells Arjuna, you need to follow these two things. If you want to become happy, what is that? What is that makes us unhappy? It's not difficult to really analyze if we spend our time. There is certain amount of limit, individuality that we all feel. We all feel an individual. That is primordial. That is essential for evolution, survival of the fittest. There is certain individual feeling that I feel that I am this, you are that, this is the world. That individuality is primordial, it's essential for human existence. That is the first problem. The first problem is limiting ourselves. But that is primordial, that is part of the evolution, we can't help it. It comes. This individuality draws a boundary around us and says, I automatically mine. I always is associated with mine. It is somehow programmed. You are programmed to associate I with mine. That I, the primordial I, ego, becomes the transactional I, the ego. Oh, I am better. Oh, I did something better. My wife is better. My kids are better. I am very good. I am very smart. This individual I, which is primordial, gets into transactional I, which we call ego, that says some kind of a entitlement. Obviously, that leads to mamakara, mind thing. And I fight to protect mine. This leads to expectation that I perform work to I expect something to perform. Depending on the result, I get. Depending on that, I get. I get attachment if things happen on my way, called raga, or dvesha if things don't happen my way, which is natural byproduct of this original entitlement called kartritva bhava. Okay, I am doing things and I expect results for me and for my people. And if I get something, I attach it to the something, raga. And if I don't get that, I get dvesha. So ahankara, mamakara, raga, dvesha. These are the four dushta chatushrayas, four bad aspects of human life. These are the ones that are actually causing us problems. That ego, that mind thing, attachment and detachment. And Krishna says, you need to let this go. If you don't let this go, it's very difficult to feel happy. And it's impossible for most of us to let this go. It is natural progression of life. Karmanye vadikaraste ma phalet kadachana. And Krishna said, we all understand that, but it doesn't get into our nature, right? Krishna never said don't expect. Krishna never said don't expect, because without expectation, you can't perform any work. Impossible to plan work without expecting results. So Krishna never wanted you to not to expect things. By all means expect, by all means plan, by all means become ready, and by all means perform your actions. You gain knowledge to perform action, you become better at doing action, do it because you are doing something to get something. And how can you do something without expecting something? Impossible. And our scriptures never say that. What the scripture says is, get this understanding that you, when you perform action, there's so many things involved in the result happening. With all good intention, with all good preparation, all great preparation, I perform action. We see in life that things don't happen the way we want it to happen. Why is that? Because your contribution is only part of the totality that has to converge for result to happen. I always give the example, if you want to throw a ball into a hoop, basketball, I prepare very well, I practice a lot. When I throw the ball, once the ball leaves my hand, the laws of physics have to come into picture. Laws of physics have no mamakara and my and other thing. They will very brutally execute laws of physics. They say the ball is going, a bird is coming in the middle, and oh, Sudhesh is such a great man. He practiced so very well. Oh, bird is coming in the middle, and the bird hit the bird. Ball will also fall down. Let me stop the bird. Let the ball go. Laws of physics will never do that. Laws of physics always say, once the ball leaves your hand, immediately everybody's actions come into picture. Bird's actions, other wind action, something action, everything comes into picture. And laws of physics has to be consistent in yielding the results as per the laws of physics. They cannot violate it. And they yield the results accordingly. That is what you have to get and say, look, once I perform an action, the result will happen. Will happen as per certain laws that are there in the cosmos. That realization is called yielding to the laws of physics. We all do that. We all of us, without any great spirituality, nothing, we yield. And because we know that we can't fight it. We can't fight the laws of physics. We know that. This is called Saranagati. Yielding is called Saranagati. That Saranagati is the first Saranagati that Krishna said in verse 65. First Saranagati, first yielding, is to yield to the laws of physics, or in spiritual parlance, the Ishvara. In Indic landscape, Indic way of imagining things, the laws of cosmos is nothing but Ishvara, Viswarupa Ishvara. Ishvara, as envisioned by our scriptures, is nothing but nature itself. The nature, it includes the cosmos and planets and stars and you and I and life and everything, all put together is Vishwam. That is the word Vishwam. And that Vishwam is personified as something bigger than me. The Vishwam is personified as something bigger than me. That Vishwam, you have to surrender. You have no choice. Why you have to surrender? Because you have the feeling of individuality. You have the feeling of limitedness. You think that you are not Vishwam. Vishwam has tremendous potential, you don't. Hence, you have to yield. We know that. And we yield, we automatically yield to Vishwam. And Krishna said, yield it not as something that, oh, I have to yield something, but yield with the knowledge that I perform action, after that, let things happen. When this happens, these dushta, they become weaker, they become loosened. Okay? You cannot get rid of these things, ahankara, mamakara, but you can lessen the effect of them. That is Krishna calls Karma Yoga. Karma Yoga, Saranagati, as given in the chapter 1865 verse, is that, okay, you know that you feel you are not complete, you are suffering, you want to become complete, you want to be happy. And the problem of this delta is because of your own imposed limitedness of ego, mamakara, raga, dvesha. To get rid of that, you need to first let them go. And the only way you can let them go is perform every action with this attitude that my contribution to the action is only part of the totality. And everything else, nature. That is the first understanding we have to get. Without that, we can perform action, we feel elated if things happen my way, we feel dejected if things don't happen my way. We react. Krishna says, don't react. If you know this, you are not that reactive. You know that, okay, well, it didn't happen. Fine, I'll do better next time. Or I'll make sure that there's no birds coming when I throw the ball. I prepare better. That's the first thing Krishna said, do that. Even then, Krishna says, you will still feel incomplete because the self-imposed, the primordial I that you have, that makes you think that you are tiny, you are limited, and there is something bigger than that, that always drives you to become incomplete. That you have to let go eventually. That is because of the ignorance that you have, that you're born with, saying that I'm a limited individual. Unless you let that go, that this body is not you, you are slightly different than the body, that you let go, then only you get the full happiness. That is called Jnana Yoga. Ajnanam, the primordial ignorance that is born out of primordial limitedness that is born out of ignorance, can only go, ignorance can only go with knowledge. Nothing can remove ignorance. And that second thing is called Jnana Yoga. That is what Krishna said in the 66th verse. So these two, Karma Yoga, Saranagati, Jnana Yoga, Saranagati. These two are our formulae as we start our life to become complete. Now, how do I, so for most of us, we don't need the second one. Most of us are very happy when we pass with 80% marks or 35% marks. We don't need 100% marks. Most of us, right? There are some people who says they get 99, they feel so bad. that they want 100. But all of us, practically, we are very happy if we get first class. So Krishna, for most of us, said karma yoga. If you can do that, you can be fairly happy. Automatically, the things will take you to jnana yoga. Okay, Krishna is very clear on that, and we are also very clear. We talk about in the spirituality moksha, 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 and love. We really don't really care for moksha, though it's required. For us, the first part is troubling. So Krishna says, surrender to in that mom, manmana bhava, mad bhaktha bhava, mom. In that mom, Krishna doesn't mean the Krishna of Yadava clan. In that, Krishna actually means the Vishwarupa Krishna. 9th chapter, last verse is exactly same verse. Manmana bhava, mad bhaktha, madhyaji, mam namaskuru. Exactly same words, except last two words are different. The 9th chapter gets into 10th chapter, which is Vibhuti Yoga, where now Krishna is saying, Krishna is expanding his divinity and say everything that is good is me. And in the 11th chapter, he goes into Vishwarupa Sandarshan Yoga. He says, that me I'm talking about all this while is nothing but Vishwarupa. So when Krishna uses mom, if you say mom is Krishna, Yadava, not Rama, Ikshwaku, or Shiva, or the, then you have become denominational. That doesn't help us. The mom has to be the Vishwarupa. If you don't understand this, if you read 65th verse, say, okay, surrender to Krishna. That doesn't help us. But Krishna also knows that surrendering to the cosmos is very difficult. Unless we personify certain things, it's very difficult to surrender. If I have a trouble, I need help, I go to a mentor. I go to a person that I trust and I ask for advice. The person gives me advice. But unless I trust the person cannot become a mentor. I have to trust the person, his knowledge, his experience, his wisdom, that whatever they say will help me. I have to personify that wisdom into a person and call it a mentor. Not only that, I have to develop some relationships. If somebody says, go and ask Sudhesh for advice, and you have no idea who Sudhesh is, and come and ask me and I give an advice, it's not very useful. You have to trust me. That means that you have to develop some kind of affection, relationship, piety towards me. Then only you take my advice. Though I may give you the right advice, your receptivity will not be effective unless you develop relationship for me as a person of a better knowledge, wisdom. That is your first step you have to do. So take the whole cosmos, which you have to use, which you know is the science. You can easily rationalize that. All the examples I gave, very easy to rationalize that. But to put in practice is very difficult. So you have to personify the entirety of cosmos into a tangible transactional mechanism. That is called Saguna Ishvara Bhakti. Without that, you can go Ramakrishna Parahamsa, Jiddu Krishnamurti, and Ramana Maharshi. They showed us that you can probably get there without this regular path. But most of us, we don't say Bill Gates dropped out of college and become billionaire, you also drop out. We never advise that. Just because Bill Gates and Mark Zuckerberg and all these people dropped out of college and become billionaires, we'll never advise our kids to drop out of college. We always say, follow the path, do this and go better. Same way, though what we call the bhakti, the devotion in all the parlance we use, for the modern mind that is going up in the present jargon, present way of scientific thinking, quote unquote rationality, may not accept this surrendering to a vigraham, a human being, very difficult. But you have a disease called incompleteness. You need a medicine to become complete. Part of the medicine is to get into this Saguneshwara Bhakti. If you say, I don't want medicine, and you have other ways to become better, by all means, don't follow this methodology. But this is time tested. It works. It works provided you know the end goal. If you don't know the end goal, take every possible medicine, searching in the web. It won't help you. So, this is a medicine prescribed for your disease, and if you take it, it'll work. If you don't take it, fine too. But know that only a stupid mind refuses medicine if you are sick. That medicine is called bhakti. So bhakti is essential in the journey towards the goal. That's very important, the bhakti. Saguna Ishvara Bhakti, like any medicine, medicine has side effects. Every medicine has side effect. The Saguna Ishvara Bhakti, though it's a medicine prescribed, will have tremendous side effects called becoming denominational. My God is better than your God. Okay. Or the process of developing relationship, certain methods are given called rituals. You get attached to the rituals. These are all required medicines, but medicine has side effects. The side effects are getting dogmatic, getting ritualistic, getting, oh, I don't believe in your God. I would rather kill you. I would convert you. I do all those things because these are the side effects of Saguna Ishvara Upasana. But it is a necessary evil. You have to take it. But you take medicine with the idea that, okay, once I get here, I need to switch to Vishwarupa Ishvara. My medicine has to be different now. So I have to take a different medicine to get out of this habit of becoming denominational, dogmatic. This is the process that they have envisioned. So here, in this process, you have certain steps that you have to take, medicine you have to take. Our health is called in Sanskrit swasthata, swasthiti. So in our Indic sages way, your natural self is healthy self. You become unhealthy because entropy is natural, chaos is natural. Our natural self is not what we are. We are not becoming better. We are becoming what we are supposed to be. Okay, so we are diseased. We have a sickness. Sickness is not our natural self. Our natural self is swasthata, or healthy. If you, I guess, you start with don't clean teeth, and if you don't brush your teeth will go bad. Okay, so you have to brush your teeth to become natural state. By brushing teeth won't become better. Teeth will become natural. Same way, the natural state is healthy state. You perform certain things to become healthy. The Indic vision said, look, if you can walk 5 miles to work hard, you can walk 20 miles. You can climb the hill in the Schiller Park, you can climb Mount Whitney. You have to just practice. That means that you know by certain practices, you can become better than yourself. You can become more than your natural state. And we all see that. We all see that we work hard, we can do better things. We don't understand, we study hard, we understand. So that from my state to higher state, from suboptimal, non-human, what we call the animal state, you become a human. From a human, you become superhuman, which is I can walk, I can go to Mount Whitney, I can climb Everest, I can do all of them. And it says that you can become supreme, not as a superhuman, because your potential is infinite. Supreme, you become supreme. Then it turns around and says, look, your natural state is supreme. You're thinking that my state is here, human, but I am suboptimal, I am animalistic, I am very indulgent, I get addicted to things. when we work hard to become human, then work hard to become superhuman, do things much better. Then, oh, let me become enlightened, go into Nirvikalpa Samadhi, become supreme. And he says, your natural state is supreme. You think that you're not supreme, you are somewhere here. So you think that you're actually growing in spirituality to get to supreme, but your natural state is supreme. That is the ultimate vision of Indic scriptures, or the vision of sages. So this is where the purpose and the spirituality is to all the things I spoke in the last 15 minutes. The practice you do is called spiritual. I don't know, dharmic. I don't know what spiritual actually means. Okay, English, we use the word. We never use the word with real meaning. We use the word God. I don't know what God is, but I use the word God. Okay, I know God is something, not because the word God is indicating certain things, but God has an associated meaning, and to express that associated meaning, I use the word God, but the word itself is not deriving the meaning. The word Bhagavan actually derives certain meanings, certain qualities. I don't know what God actually derives to, but you know God is something, and I'm using the word God. I know this animal dog. Everybody calls this animal something cat. I would be calling cat. Cat or dog doesn't tell the property of the animal I'm referring to. Same way, spirituality, I don't know what actually, the English word spirituality, I don't know what it is, but the dharma, the word dharma actually gets there. If you actually analyze the word dharma, it tells you that there is a path that you need to take to go there. So we need that is the spiritual part. So life, human life, the purpose is to get to the completeness, and the way is the karma yoga, jnana yoga path that Bhagavan Krishna said, that we call spiritual or dharmic path. This is what we need. Every one of us need that. And we all do that. We all do that every day in some form or other. This is anything we do, doesn't matter any book you follow, any scripture you take in Indic scriptural heritage, they all say this. You have to follow these steps. There's no compartmentalization, no prioritization. You can prioritize it, but your body may not help you to take this medicine in the future. Okay? When you are you're youthful, you are energetic, you can actually start very young and get there. Don't say it is not priority to me now. Don't do this, because by the time you get there, your body may not help you to do all those things. Okay, so you can compartmentalize it, but you realize that, oh my God, the time value of 1 hour in youth is not the same 1 hour when you are old, and we all know that. We all know that. Oh my God, I can't remember things. I have by heart things, but when time comes, I can't remember it. But when you are young, it comes out very easily. Why? Same you. The 1 hour of you when you are 25 years old is different from 1 hour of you now. So that is an automatic, natural degradation we have. So that very important. The reason I'm saying is, the reason I'm also giving this talk in English is that, knowing very well that I can't give a better talk better than my guru Samuel Sammusama, knowing very well, I would like to speak in the modern language that hopefully we can impress upon the youth. And it's very important. What happens is, we as elderly people, when we practice, we have to be very brutally honest with ourselves, saying that what I'm doing is in line with this vision. Otherwise, youth are looking at us and say, oh, my father does all those things, but he shouts at my mom. And they do this puja 1.5 hours every day, but they're very petty. They can see us. We, without talking, we communicate a lot of things by our behavior, and the youth are looking at us and say, he is doing mantra japa every day. He is doing rudram every other week. He is doing shodasopachara. he's doing meditation, he's doing pranayama, he's yoga. But when push comes to shove, when rubber hits the road, they are behaving exactly same way like the person who is not doing it. They are looking at us and say, okay, my father says be traditional, do puja every day, do sandhya vandana every day, but he is no good. He is just like that. That's why it's very the responsibility, the onus we have, those who try to understand, try to impress upon our kids to follow this dharmic path, you had assumed a greater responsibility. A, for you, because you don't want to waste time. You don't want to spend 40 years doing puja and say, I'm still the same me. 40 years are gone. For you also very important. And more importantly, you're unable to pass it on to others, your kids, because they're looking at you. They're trying to verify, validate that the advice you're giving is actually useful advice. It's very important that we have to do that. Okay. And it's very important to also follow some guidance. Otherwise, what happens is it's like traveling in a big ocean, holding a log without looking at stars. Even if you look at stars, you don't know how to navigate looking at stars. And you're traveling, it's the ocean, currents are there, you feel like you're traveling, you're going somewhere, but you could be making a huge circle and coming back same place, not actually going somewhere. A, because you're a huge ocean of life, okay, and B, you don't know how to navigate because you lost the knowledge of following the stars. Even if it is there as books called scriptures, you don't know how to interpret them, lost it, you need a boat. Naveva sindhum duritat tegni. Durga, you become a boat. Teach me how to navigate. Because I can't navigate, I lost the ability to navigate because I lost the heritage. When Swami Vivekananda went back from USA in 1893, he came in 1893, went back in 1896. He landed in Chennai, in Tamil Nadu, in Chennai, Madras. He gave a speech. Please Google it, called The Future of India by Swami Vivekananda. He says, India lost the Vishwaguru aspect, not only for the subjugation by Islamic, later colonial thing, but primarily India lost the Vishwaguruness because they lost the knowledge of Sanskrit and the knowledge of scriptures. Okay, and it's amazing the clarity of the mind Vivekananda had for post-independent India in 1896, 97. Okay, he had great clarity. Very important to have that attachment to your heritage, the civilizational root. And because you lost the knowledge of Sanskrit and hence the literature of the Sanskrit, you completely forgetting that. People, the Brahmanas who are supposed to disseminate that, cease to become Brahmanas. Okay, they become service people. They lost the Brahmanatvam, i.e., not the caste Brahmana, the ability to understand the scriptures and disseminate the knowledge properly. We lost the Brahmanatvam for whatever reason it may be, and we lost the knowledge of Sanskrit, and we became what we are. If we have to regain our glory, our Vishwaguru's hood, Vivekananda is very clear that we have to get back to our scripture knowledge. So that is what we need. So this is the framework. The framework of a successful life is encompassing all those things, adding all those aspects in our day-to-day life. Now comes Soundarya Lahari. Thanks.
50 minutes.
So I hope you have some time. I just I gave some because without this foundational, the rationale for what we do Soundarya Lahari, we do Lalita Sahasranamam, and we do same thing 10 years from now. Okay, we'll probably doing same thing again and again. So we have to know this is the framework. Every aspect I'm doing. Krishna is very clear, says, Amanitvam, Adambitvam, Ahimsa, Santi, Arjavam. There is no thermometer that you can put and say, I'm becoming a better person. right? Fever, you can put a thermometer and say, I'm becoming healthier. But this, Dusatitishaya, Ahankara, Mamagara, Raga, Dvesha, there's no thermometer to say, yeah, listen. You have to measure it yourself and say, Amanitvam. That no manam, know that I'm superior. Adambetam, saying I'm superior. Ahimsa, that violence, arjam, you have to be straightforward. All these qualities you develop. You can see that you're developing it. And you develop that, you know that your exercise that you're doing is actually yielding results. If you're exercising to lose weight, you lost weight. That's a measure. The spiritual exercise that you're supposed to do, you have to measure all those things. Without that, we end up doing same thing again and again and again. And after 1 year, I'm still same weight. I'm not losing my weight. Same thing will happen. So come to Soundarya. In the previous few talks, I talked about Sreevidya. It's very important to talk a few minutes about Sreevidya, though I gave that 2 or 3 talks already on Sreevidya. It's very important to recap what Sreevidya is to understand what is Soundarya Lahari offering. Sreevidya is a technique of doing exercise. Doing exercise, the way you are supposed to do exercise, one way is called Sreevidya. What is it? When we do exercise, when you go to gym, we are working our physical body. What our dharmic literature says is expand the definition of body. Your body is not just your muscle and thing, it's also your prana, the vitality you have. The vitality you have is also your body. The mind you have, the healthy mind is also your body, part of you. The intellect you have, ability to understand things better, is also your body. When I say I am exercising, don't limit exercise only to your body, physical body. Expand the definition of body, expand the anatomy of your instrument of exercise, instrument of thing, and say, I have to exercise all those 4 aspects: body, vitality, the mind, my thoughts, and my intellect, all 4. Exercising is all 4, there are techniques given. Just like allopathy has certain way of diagnosing your problem, homeopathy has certain way of diagnosing a problem, Ayurveda has certain way of thing, yoga has certain way of. Everybody has a different definition of body. Yogic definition of body is your prana. You regulate your prana properly, the flow of energy in your body, the disease, sickness in the body is irregular distribution of energy, vitality, as per yoga. You fix that, your disease goes away. So how you can fix it? By properly working out your muscles in certain way, different stretches, and also with the breath. With breath control, you can make the vitality of your body be correct. That is the definition of sickness and the cure of the sickness as per yoga. Ayurveda has certain different things. Okay, that says you have certain 3 guna doshas, kapha, pitta, vata. The imbalance of this becomes disease, you fix it. All these are now scientifically proven. Like you do pranayama, you do yogasana, and today is International Yoga Day. So it's good that we are talking about Soundarya Lahari today. It's all now scientifically proven. Another aspect scientifically proven, which I spoke in last talk is the sound effect on the body. Okay, the sound effect on the body also helps you to become better. The vibratory nature of the sounds, and I have given the sides of theta waves and gamma waves and all the things I gave in the last lecture, that you can use sound to do that. So sound, mind, meditation, prana, and physical exercise. all three put together is called Tantra. Tantra is the technique of using sound along with the prana to use as a catalyst and accelerator to do better exercise. Okay, so that sound is called mantra. Mantra is nothing but the primordial sound that very allegorically we say that when Shiva is playing Damaru, the first sound obviously was Om, but from there he 14 sutras came, some letters came. I will call Mahesha Sutrani. And Nandi took them and expanded it. Pani took them and make it grammar. He took those look at 14 sutras. They are called Mahesha Sutrani. They are primordial sounds. And they became our Varnamala. And by adding Panini made it 50. So 50 are every letter, every sound is a mantra for us. This every sound will reverberate when uttered correctly and fix your issues. That is the vision of our sages. And you take the sounds, combine them into a compound sound, still root sound called Bijakshara, and concentrate properly, and they become accelerator for your exercise. It's just like supplemental medicines. Okay, you can do without them, but if you want to exercise faster, they are useful. Then they looked at our body and said, look, they looked at the energy map of the body and said, okay, there's a lot of energy going in your body, the nervous energy, the vitality is going in. They said, okay, it seems to be flowing through your spinal cord. What makes human being a human being is the vertical spinal cord. We are different. We are achieving greatness because of only our vertical spinal cord. All other animals don't have that, and they cannot become that. Because of our erectness, and we are able to, that spinal cord is the primary differentiator between humans' ability to become better than who he is and animals who can't. They said, okay, there is spinal cord, and these energy are coming and going in the spinal cord. The spinal cord, different junctions of spinal cord are working like a distributory transformers. They gather the energy flowing to the whole body, bring it together, again do something to it, again take it out, again bring it, again take it out. And they looked at it and said, okay, it seems to be converging at 6 places in the body. In Soundarya Lahari, hopefully have time to go to that verse, Shankara talks about it. Okay, they're converging and going, converging and going. Okay, and then they also said, at each of those points, you vibrate it, you knock it with some sound, you can really make it better. They did that. Okay, and that is your called chakras. They envisioned one chakra here called Agnya chakra, one plexus here called Vishuddhi, one here called Anahata, one here called Manipura, one slightly below Manipura, close to your creative organs is called Swadhisthana, and one in the bottom is called at or anus is called Mooladhara. They said, okay, they seem to be coming together, going, coming together, going, coming together, going. And they also said, okay, you are at Mooladhara. You are supposed to be at Swadhisthana, Swa Adhisthana, Swa, my Adhisthana place. Your energy level supposed to be at Swadhisthana. But because of our indulgent living, it went opposite direction. And we seem to be living in Mooladhara. Moola Adhara, that becomes Adhara. But you're supposed to be at Swadhisthana. Human being supposed to be at Swadhisthana. That is supposed to be energy level. But we are not there. We are, because of our indulgent living, we are at Mooladhara. So I said, okay, you are at Mooladhara, you have to come here. As you go up, your vitality goes up, your ability to perform things goes up, and you can become better. Now, how many of you cut vegetables with a beautiful knife, with a really sharp, weight balanced knife? What a joy. You cut vegetables with a blunt knife, you don't like it. But take that knife that is perfectly balanced, sharp, made for that, and cut vegetables. Man, the work is so joyful. I don't know how many of you felt it. I felt it. I felt it. Right? That means that the better the instrument, the joy of working becomes better. Yogaha, karmasu, kaushalam. Krishna said, the instrument you have to cut vegetables is knife. The instrument you have to perform any action is your body. And the better the body, joy of action is better. So your endeavor has to be make your instrument, which is body, better. So the science says that you need to become better. Your energy level has to go up. They say there is a point in the middle where it is a false ceiling, very difficult to penetrate that. Somewhere between the energy level below navel, Manipura and Swadhisthana, there is a ceiling. It's for most of us very difficult to penetrate. They call it a Grandhi. They call it Brahma Grandhi. Okay, Brahma Grandhi is the first, that peak that you have to climb. And if you climb the peak, it's like Kaun Banega Kanopati, or who wants to become a millionaire. Once you cross that threshold, even if you lose, you get that much money. It's very similar to that. You exercise a lot, you know that if you can do push-ups, first day one push-up is difficult, you continue to do that, you come to 50 push-ups, you stop, you realize that after 10 years you do push-ups, you can easily do 10 push-ups. That means that without you knowing, you have crossed the threshold of Grandhi and your minimum now is 10. Same way, you cross your Grandhi, Brahma Grandhi, you come there, you have now, you perform actions at a much higher level. Similarly, there's one here, they call Vishnu Grandhi, next higher level threshold. You work out, you come, you cross it, then you go even much superior. And third one, you come here, called Rudra Grandhi, and when you penetrate that, you're supreme, man. You can do anything, you're superhuman. You're not super, you're like supreme. You can do anything. That is the exercise you are doing. So this is the anatomy of the body. And these chakras, the conduits of energy, the path of the two breaths you have, called left nostril and right nostril, which goes through, the people have envisioned that it goes through your spinal cord, like left and right. They call the Surya and Chandra, they call Ida and Pingala. And they also envisioned Agni Tattvam that going in the middle, called Sushumna. That these are your conduits. By exercising those and properly vibrating energies, by elevating your energy level, you can better. In all those things, there's no reason for a bhakti. It's purely science. There's absolutely no reason for bhakti. But we all know that the Rakshasas, Ravanasura and all excelled in thought, but they're not happy. So you need bhakti to let go ego, but you need these techniques to ability to let go ego. So all the science I talked about called Yoga Shastra, if you read Patanjali Yoga Sutra, there's no need for God. Though Patanjali says Isvara Pranidhana, Kriya Yoga, but there is no reason, because science doesn't need God. Science, by its area of work, doesn't need God. So if this is science, obviously it doesn't need God. But for your end goal, you need God. Why? You need to let go ego. So you take the Vishwarupa Ishvara, and before Vishwarupa Ishvara, the cause of all causes, it is Arupa Ishvara. Before Big Bang, whatever it was, that Arupa Ishvara. After Big Bang, Vishwarupa Ishvara. For my convenience, Saguna Ishvara. And I need to work my body, which is my exercise, all those things put together is happening in the body. This body is called Sri Chakra. Sri Chakra Samcharani, I said in my Jnana Sloka, Hinkarasana Garbhita Nalasata. She, goddess, because we have our language, we have energy as feminine in our language, in our way we express things. She is nothing but Hinkarasana. Garbhitanada. He is sound, Hreem sound. He is asana. He is the primordial sound. And she's also in your body. Okay? If God is in my body, why am I like this? If God is in my body, the goddess God is dwelling in my body, why am I like this? Why am I so narrow, so inefficient? Okay? That God, whose infinite potential, is actually in you in a potential form called coiled potential form. Coil is a symbol for potential energy, a coiled potential form. And it is with you because you are in Muladhara. That potential form is in Muladhara, it is there. She is residing in your body. She is Sri Chakra Sancharani. She lives in the body, she goes in the body. What you're saying, if she is in my body, why am I like this? Why am I so inefficient? Why am I so limited? Because you wound her up and forced her in your bottommost levels of energy. And she's there as Kundalini. Okay? Kundalini is like coiled, we call serpent. Okay? You can loosen her, bring her up, and now your whole body is now vibrant with dynamic energy, kinetic energy, not potential energy. So the goddess is with you in your body. This Sri Chakra is your body, but like anything else, I need my fingers to count in the beginning. After that, I don't need it. I need a Sri Chakra to start practice. Very difficult to imagine my body as Sri Chakra. So there is a diagram, geometric diagram. I do puja to that, hope that one day I let go of that and I project on my body and exercise the body. That is the vision. But we are at 60 years old, we can probably directly go to the body. Okay, because to do that puja will take another 30-40 years time. Okay, so we can directly short circuit and go to body. Hopefully, won't get the same effect, but we can start there. That is the Sreevidya as envisioned by Shankaracharya, Samayachara, or Vamachara. The Vamachara, which is now doing physical puja, to Kaulachara or Samayachara, internalize the puja, take this body as Sri Chakra, work it out for Samayachara, the Kaulachara, mix both. Okay, so Shankaracharya supposed to have propagated, made famous the Samayachara. And Shankaracharya gave us a book that encompasses all these aspects of the Nirguna Ishvara, Vishwarupa Ishvara, Saguna Ishvara, Yoga, Prana, Pranamaya, meditation, and mantra into one book, and he called Soundarya Lahari. Okay, now we are coming to the. Okay, in half an hour. Yeah, in half an hour we'll finish it. I don't know, like we'll try to finish in half an hour. I don't expect to, hope to cover Soundarya Lahari in total, which is 100 verses. And unless you get in, you don't know how deep it is. And I got in, I'm stuck somewhere in the middle now. Okay, it is a multi-layered treasure of knowledge. The more you dig, the more layers of finding. So my hope today is to just introduce what I learned a little bit as a taste and confine the verses to the Sreevidya. Okay, the story goes like this. Shankaracharya went to Kailash, met Shiva and Parvati. Shiva gave 4 Shivalingas, Patikalingas, and he was very happy. And Parvati said, I need to do something. So she gave a book. No. The books are there those days, I don't know. That's all. Okay. She gave a book. He was very happy. He was carrying 4 Shivalingas and a book, and he's coming down very happy. And Nandikeshwara met him. Hey, you are very happy. What happened? Oh, God gave not those 4 things in your hand. Oh, there's Shivalingas. Oh, why? Shiva gave me. He said, put it into all 4 places and make India great. I'm going to make India great. Okay, fine. He's very Nandikeshwara is very happy. Do that. I also very happy. By the way, what is in your armpit? Oh, that is the book mother gave me. Oh, yeah, give me, show me the book. You saw the book? He said, wow, mother gave you this? Yes. What did mother say? He said, give it to everybody. And he tore halfway and said, okay, give it. I said, why did you do that? Humanity is not ready for the totality. Okay. So he tore halfway through. Of course, it's allegorical story. I'm sure there is a deeper meaning behind it. I can guess some meaning. I'll let you know. And mother, he went back to mother. I said, don't worry. I know you're very capable. Finish it off. Make it 100 verses. You use your own brain. And he came. He wrote 100 verses. Originally 100 verses. Nandikeshwara took 59 verses. Yeah, and 41 verses remained that mother gave. And he added 59 and made 100. And that became Soundarya Lahari. First 41 is called Ananda Lahari. Second 59 is called Soundarya Lahari. Okay. Of course, total book is called Soundarya Lahari, but generally, because a thing of beauty is joy forever, you need beauty to perceive joyness. So Soundarya is required to feel joy, Ananda. So that's how the book goes. Okay. Now, my interpretation of this story is that first 41 are pure science. Because mother as nature gave the laws embedded in the nature. Okay, because nature, if you remove the personification of nature, the nature gives something. Nature has everything already embedded in it. Nothing that we find, we invent or outside nature. Nature already has theory of relativity, we plugged it. Nature already has gravity, we plugged it. Okay, it's not that we invented it. There's no invention. We just plugged it. So you can say mother gave this 41, mother gave Shankaracharya the intuition to plug the cosmic truths in the first 41. Then for the other thing, I said, for Saranagati, the mechanism you need for developing the devotion, Shankaracharya added another 59, which are not necessarily the cosmic truth. Of course, there are cosmic truths, but they are now the medicine, the medium in which the medicine is there. It is the sweet pill that homeopathy medicine is there. Okay, they added that so that it's very sweet to eat. Medicine works. So the 59 verses are those sweet pill that like Shankaracharya give, and you take that along with this 41, the medicine works. And Shankaracharya is a great poet. He is par excellence. We don't understand. We think Shankaracharya as a spiritual leader. We never look at his greatness of poetry. When you read Soundarya Lahari, first thing that hits you that, oh my God, I don't know Sanskrit language. How the mathematics is a language that makes probing into the science very easy, or communicating scientific facts very easy, language of mathematics. Similarly, you realize that this scientific truths or the cosmic truths, I wanted to use the word cosmic truths. To convey that, the language of ancient mathematics is nothing but Sanskrit. The power of language. When you read that, and when you listen to Swami Sambusaramagaru and other people and say, when they explain to us, they derive the meaning from one word and bring multi-layer. How to take one work, one poem, make the same medicine work for people who don't know any science, and use the same words to help everybody at a different level of spirituality. But the same mathematics. It's not like, oh, Newton's law of mathematics is only works here, And if you go to cosmic level, you have to use gravity, Einstein's theory of relativity. If you go to bottom, you have to use quantum mechanics. You have two different mathematics. It's not like that. Same mathematics for every level of experience. You see, once you read Soundarya Lahari, the first thing that hits you is the beauty of language. Second thing that hits you is how great Shankaracharya would have been to use these beautiful words to put so many things into one verse. And third thing that hits you is the depth of Indic knowledge system. Shankaracharya basically reproduced the Indic knowledge system. It hits it. So now let us go visit few verses in Soundarya Lahari and try to see these things I explained are there. But my hope is that if Manaka Garu and Ramohan Garu are still able to put up with me, we'll have more series of, because now thanks to Manaka Garu, I got introduced to Ranta Sahasanamam and we started chanting Ranta Sahasanamam. Then I said, because of my inquisitive nature, I wanted to understand Ranta Sahasanamam. I read a lot about it, thanks to Swami Samaskarava's book. I read a lot. Then I got into Sreevidya. I gave a few talks. The preparation of talks makes you study better. And then it automatically led me to Soundarya Lahari. Now I'm studying it more in depth. I'm nowhere close to understand the whole thing, but it's fantastic. And the literature of Sreevidya has Lalita Sahasranamam, Khadgamala, which I gave talk last time, Lalita Trishati, Arya Dvishati, Mukha Panchasati. These are all on Soundarya Lahari. These are all Stotra Vangmayam. Then we have Nada Bindu Upanishad. A lot of other books are there. They're all very serious scientific books. All put together is the literature, the corpus of literature we have for us to really go in depth of Srividya, the spiritual exercise. Among a lot of the 30-35 commentators are there, the most popular across the board, back and forth, is a coincidentally Telugu person called Lalla Lakshmidhara Pandita. Okay, his commentary, that was in Sanskrit. His commentary was the most popular commentary, which almost everybody follows. Unless commentary like this, we cannot understand the mantras embedded in it. Okay, for us, we have no wherewithal to understand the depths of the thing. Thanks to great scholars like Lalla Lakshmidhara Pandita, where they have given it, and of course, so he was able to take Shankaracharya's work. Because of his own sadhana, he was able to understand the meaning and gave us, and later great commentators like Saman Sarmagar and all are able to convey to us. So, with that, let us get into briefly Soundarya Lahari. And I hope this is only beginning, and I will have more opportunity to see Soundarya Lahari in depth. Okay? Now, Manaka Garu, and she said few more people have learned Soundarya Lahari chanting, thanks to my mother-in-law, Manikya Mangalikante Garu, who is in the Zoom call somewhere. And she taught, because when you sing it with a melody and raga, it sounds very beautiful. The basis, the story says that God has gave him, Shankaracharya, this one, his Paramaguru, Gaudapada, actually wrote this esoteric knowledge in a book called Subhagodaya Stavam. Subhagodaya Stavam, about 52 verses. And he chose a meter called Sikharani. We are talking about Parvati, who is the daughter of Parvata, which is Sikara. So it's very apt that Shankaracharya also chose Sikharani meter to express this knowledge. Sikharani meter is 17 syllables, 6 plus 11, na 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 na, na 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 na. It goes like this. Na 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 na, na 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 na, na 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 na, na 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 na. Every line, that means 4 times 100, 400 lines will go with the 17 syllables in this meter. So it makes us easy to read. Siva sekta yukto na 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 na. Like that we can do. Of course, people like my mother-in-law and Emma Subbalakshmi added more raga to that and made it much better. But for us to chant, if you follow the meter, it becomes easier to chant. Okay. So I started this talk today with one great verse from Kalidasa called Vagarda Vivasankupto Vagarda Pratipate Jagadah Pitaro Vande Parvati Parameshwara. Walk, the sound, is the first manifestation. The sound is the first manifestation. Behind that, there is artha, there is the essence. Essence is unmanifest. And when it manifests, it becomes walk. You cannot separate both. You can't separate the essence and the expression of the essence. Vag artha viva samprukto vag artha pratipate. They're all together. How? Jagatav Pitaro one day, just like Parvati Parameshwara, they're together. Vag artha. So same thing. Soundarya Lahari also starts with exactly same feeling. Okay, it starts with Siva Sekta Yukto Yadi Bhavati Sekta Prabhavitu. Nache Devo Devam Nakalu Kusala Spanditavam. Ataswa Maradhyam Harihara Virancha Vidirati. Pranantum Sotum Va Kadamakuta Punya Prabhavati. Sivudu, Siva, without Shakti or with Shakti, was able to spandana, the very first primordial vibration. Was able to do that. Without Shakti, Shiva is Shiva. Okay, the E in Shiva is the Ikara of Goddess Saraswati, the Goddess Shakti, and without Ikara, Shiva becomes Shiva. That's what he's saying here. Shiva was able to Saktaha Prabhavitum, was able to do a lot of things. How? Shiva Sakta Yoto Yadi. Because Shakti is with Shiva, you're able to do that. You cannot separate both. Seve Nachat Evam, same. Without that, nobody, nothing, Nakalu Spandetamapi, nothing can vibrate. Ataswa Maharajam Harihara Virincha Vidrati. Virinchi Brahma, Harihara, Hari, Vishnu, Hara, the dissolver, they can't perform everything. And Pranantum Sotuva, if I am able to recognize that and do namaskaram to you, you must have like me. That's how the first one starts, with tremendous Saranagati. Okay? It starts with Saranagati and say, I understand at all level, before manifestation, after manifestation, the energy required to perform anything, the cosmic energy, it is all you, mother, because it feels great to imagine the Vishwarupa Ishvara as a feminine mother. We all have our own bias towards mothers. Right? So that feeling you get, the warm feeling you get when you think about mother, when you think about Vishwarupa, the unpersonified reality, perceived reality that you personify as mother immediately draws you to your next step. Yeah, okay, I like my mother. That's how it starts. The second one, Thane Yansam Pansum, Tavacharana Pankero Habo. Virinchin Sanchin one, Virajayat Loka Navikala. Okay. Okay, you are the manifestation. How did the manifestation happen? Somebody has to write it, make it. We say Brahma made it. Okay, so Brahma is some function of the Iswarupa, which is manifested as creation. How did Brahma do this? He took the dust from your feet, and with that finest dust, he made the world. As without one galaxy hitting other galaxy, without one planet hitting other planet. Perfect loss, without chaos. He was able to make. From where? From the tiniest of the dust. This is nothing but one of the 6 darshanas we have called Vaiseshika. Kanada Vaiseshika Darshana. Before all the atomic theories come, Kanada, Kana, from the Kana, Adi Nunchi, from Kana, everything is formed. That is Kanada's Vaiseshika. The materialistic evolution theory that we have, from Big Bang, from first primordial particles to coalescing into a bigger particle, and life and everything, that is very similar to Kanada. And Shankaracharya is acknowledging the contribution made by one of the darshanas we have called Kanada. Then comes, okay, if dust has to be there, she must have put foot on earth. Otherwise, dust won't come. So how can earth be there before creation itself? Right? So we said very easily, you took the dust and made it. Where did the dust come from? Without creation. How it came, he says, Tavacharana Pankera Havam, like the popidi of that thing that has, that lotus has. Lotus dust, it's not dust, it is lotus. What do you call that popidi? In pollen, yeah. The pollen that Padma has. Huh? Yeah, from there he took it. What is saying that the primordial dust is self-made. It is not from creation. It is like spider brings the silk from its own body and brings the whole world. Where the world come from? From itself. That is a very example given in Vedanta. How do you imagine the cause of causes? You need two things, two causes. The material cause, like mud, and the intelligent cause, efficient cause, like the pot maker. For anything to happen, you need two people, you need two causes. You need the material cause and the efficient cause. So if you say creation, where did the material cause? Okay, and where did the material cause come from? The material cause has to exist separate from efficient cause. Mud has to exist separate from the pot maker. That two causes are separate. That means that the duality is not Advaitam. They say that one cause appears as two causes. Vishwam, the material cause, and Vishnum, the efficient cause, are only one. Vishwam, Vishnum, Vashatkaraha, the primordial sound Vashatkaram, that is the cause of all those things. Even if you go to Vishwashasanamam, you get the same place. Okay, the material cause and the efficient cause, the Vishwam and Vishnum, are only one. Same way, the pollen of Padma, which is for us, Padma is very symbolic for everything, purity and the other thing. So from her feet, the Pankera Bhavam, the pollen, Viranchi has taken it and made the whole world. All 14 lokas he made. How did he make? Vikalpam Lakunda, without Vikalpam, without fighting, without they colliding with each other. Okay, without chaos, he made it. Then Vahatyenam Sauri, Kadamapi Sahastena Sarasam. Kadamapi, I don't know how he made it, how he's maintaining it. Who? Harihi, Sauri is Vishnu. Somehow Kadamapi, I don't know how he's maintaining it. He's maintaining it how? Sahastena Sarasam, like Adisesha. We never equate Adisesha with Vishnu. Adisesha is a bed for Vishnu. But here, he's drawing a picture as Vishnu is 1000 like Adisesha. Because Adishesha is also called Sankarshana. Another name of Vishnu is Sankarshana. What is Sankarshana? Samyak Akarshana. Gravity. Okay? The whole cosmos is perfectly balanced and sustained by the primordial force called gravity, which is what the science says today. Okay? So, with the gravity, the primordial energy, that force that we have, without gravity, the creation is not there. And how Vishnu, all pervading, because to maintain the whole thing, the ability of the person who is maintaining everywhere has to be there everywhere. If I have to fix something, I have to be there to fix it. That means that Vishnu is maintaining everywhere. He has to be a Vishnu. Vishnu, Vas, Dhatu, all pervading. Brahma, Brahad Dhatu, great to make. Right? So look at the words. If you know the words and the root meaning of it, you can understand the Vedanta very easily. So Saurihi, Vishnu, by its all pervasiveness, omniscience and omnipresent, because he was able to maintain it. How? I don't know. Maybe it's with the gravity. Okay, the second one. And we also say nothing, the law of conservation of cosmic energy, nothing is lost. When everything goes, the same dust, Shiva, because it's come from your feet, you put on his body. Okay? And the third verse says, Haraha, Sankshuddhainam Bhajati Bhajito Dholana Vidhi. So he is putting this dust, cosmic dust that came from your feet, because you are part of him. He took it on his own body because you are part of him. Okay? That is the second verse. So second verse itself, you see how Shankaracharya has now giving the creation, the cosmic theory of the cosmos. Now, why is it important? Because as per our evolution, Sankhya and everything, the world, the whole Prapancham is made up of Panchabhutas. Right? Space, wind, fire, water, and earth principles. They all have their properties called tanmatras. Sound, touch, taste, shape, and smell. They have that. They are embedded in the Panchabhutas, tanmatras. The grossification becomes bhutas, becomes tanmatras. First the sound came, then the space came. Like that. Those 5 tanmatras have become our pancha jnanendriyas. Okay? We are our indriyas. Without our indriyas, we are no. We don't have anything, functionality. So the primordial coalescing of the dust, cosmic dust, into the manifestation is actually same manifestation, same coalescing in our body as jnanendriyas, hearing, touch, taste, smell, and shape. Without that, we cannot do anything. So to drive the point that the Pindanda is same as Brahmanda, okay, he started with Brahmanda. He says, from there, the whole cosmos has evolved like this, and from there, you are coming. We are there. So we have to understand the cosmos to one day, hopefully, become one with the cosmos. But we are also cosmos. We are a small replica of the same cosmos. If you understand how cosmic evolution has happened, to Nasirya Suktam, to Sri Purusha Suktam, and all of them give that cosmic coalescing aspect of cosmic nature. And if you understand this, understand the Panchikarana, what Ramana Maharshi says in Upadesa Shastri. Karma kim phalam karma tajjadam. Ashtamurti Brut Deva Pujanam. Ashtamurti Panchabhutas Manas Ahankara Mahat. Okay? You take the 9, 8, and this is nothing but cosmos. Deva, Vishwarupa Deva is nothing but Ashtamurti Brut Deva Pujanam. Worship Deva as Ashtamurti, not because he is Ramana Maharshi, he straight bypassed college, dropped out of college, and went there. We are not like that. Okay, we actually had to start puja, but you have to understand that the cosmic vision is that. Same way, in the second verse, Shankaracharya is starting with the cosmic vision. I will not go all 100. First, you are interesting and important. Then he says the third one. This is what Manaka read of us 3. Okay, what is it in for me? Okay, all good. What happens if I study this book? Third verse is giving the poem already. Avijjanamantastimira mahira deepa nagari. Jaranam chaitanya stavaka makaranda sutishari. Daridranam chintamani gunanika janma jaladhau. Nimagnanam dransta muraripu parahasya bhavati. Okay, he is given 4 levels. What? From your subhuman to supreme is the benefit, he says. What? We are grahasthas. We are janma jaladau, the world, cosmic waters, the karmic waters of janma jaladau called samsara. Nimagnana, we are immersed in cosmic waters called karma phala, samsara. Dhanashta muraripu varahasya bhavati. Just like Muraripu, who is Vishnu, Varaha Avtaram, Adi Varaha Avtaram. How is from his Kora he lifted the earth and brought up the whole thing, saved the thing from the waters. The earth supposed to be in the water. And Varaha, Adi Varaha lifted it. Adi Varaha is called Yajna Varaha Swami. What he's saying is, by having the Yajna form of lifestyle, Adi Varaha, Yajna Varaha is an indication of the yajnic lifestyle we all have to do. There is a huge topic called what is yajna. Brahma Arpanam, Brahma Hari, Brahma Go Brahma, Brahma Tena Gantavyam, Brahma Karma Samadha. That is yajna. Everything I do is yajabhavana. Yaj, from Dhatu yajna came. Everything I do as yajna. So if you are immersed in the samsara, this book will give you, this knowledge will give you that yajna way of life. How? Varaha. That's first benefit. Then I'm going from fourth line to the second out top. Daridranam Chintamani Gunanika. Daridra, not just poverty, everything. Poverty of everything that we have. From there, Chintamani Gunanika. Now, interesting. Shankaracharya never gave commentary on Raja Sahasranam. He gave commentary which Sahasranam. A lot of people ask why he did not give. Gunanika, the word Gunanika is a garland of what? Chintamani. Chintamani Gunanika. By presenting this Chintamani, Chintamani is that Sankalpa Shakti. Okay? Chintamani is the pearls, monies of Chinta, your Sankalpa, Sat Sankalpa Shakti is called Chintamani. By enhancing your Sankalpa Shakti, by garland of Sankalpa Shakti, Jadanam, Daridranam, the paucity of wealth in every aspect is removed. Gunanika in our Katapayada system, we have a Katapayada system of how take the words and mathematical formula. If you add it up, Gunanika becomes 1053. Okay, like they give some letters to Kaka, Gaga, and you can do the big science behind Katapayada system. If you use the word Gunanika, Gunanika gives you the number called 1053. It is exactly the number of verses you have in, number of names you have in Nalta Sahasranam. Okay, so Shankaracharya kind of hinting, I'm sorry I didn't give a commentary on Nalta Sahasranam, but I'm giving this. Okay. So you will see a lot of parallels. One of another topic I want to cover in one of the future talk is the parallels between Nalta Sahasranam and Soundarya Lahari. Then you have Jadanam Chaitanya Stabaka Makaranda Sutishari. The nectar of Karandam will make you more energized. Chaitanya, you are dull because of your ignorance, and it becomes more sentient. You get less ignorant. The benefit. And finally, Avidyanam Antastimira Nehira Deepanagari. It grows so bright, the knowledge that you acquired. It will remove your avidya. That is, from your bottom level, samsara, by doing karma yoga, yajna way of life in Yatman karma yoga, you slowly grow the steps I told in the beginning. Then you do jnana yoga, your jadatvam will go away. Jnana yoga will lead to jnanam, and jnanam like Mahira, like a sun, like a island coming out of sun coming out of an island. It removes all your jnana. The jnanam, which is now Savita. Savita is nothing but Surya. The Savita, that knowledge, Gayatri, that knowledge will remove the primordial ego I talked about. So he's saying in the third verse, the benefit of this practicing this one, you will get the original purpose that you started with. Right? You want to get rid of all of them. This is promising you will get it. That's what he said in the third verse. Then he talk about, it goes into more, there's a lot of esoteric meaning behind it. Hariswa Maharaja Panata Jana Saubhagya Jananim Puranari Bhutva Puradipamapi Kshobhanayat Sarvopitvam Natva Ratinayana Lehena Vapusha Muninam Apyanta Prabhavatihi Mohamata. Here, the esoteric meaning is called Saubhagya Vidya. And also, there is a Bija mantra here, Hara Mahatam. Hara starts with Hara, ends with Mahatam. Harim. Because the science says that they're not supposed to do Bijakshas very easily without proper qualification. But Shankaracharya is so loving to all of us, he made as a homeopathy medicine. He said, do this, you are doing actually Hrim without you knowing it. If Hrim without proper qualification will harm you, take this homeopathy medicine. Haridrana Mahatam, Hrim, you're saying it. And Lalla Lakshmidhar Sastri Garu has, and Appai Dikshita, a lot of people looked into this and say how they embedded these Bijakshas here, and it comes to a lot of places. I'll give a couple of examples. Danu Pausham Mauri Madhukaramayi Panchavisikaha Vasanta Samanta. Yeah. If you see here, fourth verse is important. I missed it. He hasn't given the shape of the goddess. Okay. First three verses, he talked about cosmic energy. He hasn't given the shape of goddess. The fourth verse, he says, Tadanya Panibhya Bhavaya Marado Devatakanaha Tvameka Naivasi Prakadita Varabhitya Vinaya Payatratum Datum Paramasicha Vancha Samadikam Saranye Lokanam Tavahi Charana Veva Gunna. All other goddesses, all other gods you see has hands like this and one hand like this. Abhaya Varada. You don't have it. So this is the first verse where he's trying to give a hint of the shape of the goddess you are saying. Now, every goddess you see this. There are only a couple of goddesses that have observed that. Lalita Paravatarika. If you see Lalitamba picture, you will not see Abhay Hasta and Varada Hasta. You see four hands with things holding. Kanchi Kamakshi also doesn't have it. So he's kind of hinting who his object of veneration is. Okay? He says, Lalita Paravatarika is this Sreevidya, Soundarya. She is the beauty I'm talking about. So fourth verse gives a hint of the physical aspects of because your feet itself, and if you see Lalita Paravatarika, her feet are visible like this. Okay? Your feet itself will remove everything. You don't need another promise. So he is giving a hint of the object of veneration of Lalita Paravatarika. Okay? And then he says in the sixth verse, Danu Poshvam Mauri Madhukara Panchavisika Asanta Samanto Malaya Marudayo Dhana Radaha Adapekyam Sarvam Hemagre Sute Kamapikutam Apangat Velabda Jagadata Panango Vijayate. You are given the instrument you gave for us to work with you is Danu, the Banam, which is nothing but your mind. Okay? And Panchavisika, 5 flowers as weapons, which is nothing but Panchatanmatras. Okay? And Manas. And Malaya Maruta, the wind, Prana. And the Banam has a rope. It is actually nothing but Tumidam, which is nothing but your spinal cord. The vibratory nature of your spinal cord, that Sushumna Nadi, use all those things to conquer it. Okay. Then in 7th verse, he's silently going more and more and things. Kanat Kwanchi Dama Karikalaba Kumbastana Parikshena Madhye Paranita Saras Chandra Vadana Dhadurbanan Pasam Sunamapi Dadhana Karatalai Purasta Dastamna Puramaditura Ho Purushika. Okay. Kanat Kwanchi. So you have that vibrating, making sound of jewelry. Okay. And you have the bosom, like the heads of elephant. Now, in all our things, we extol the bosom of mother. Now, it is not bezel. You're not looking at bosom and say with anything. For us, for a child, mother's breasts are nothing but nurturing. Only for adults, they have different meaning. Okay, when adults look at breast, they get different meaning. But when a boy, when a child looks at mother, the breasts are nothing but the matruka. She is the mother. Okay, Kamala, Kuchacho, Kokumkumato, Rajatar. Here also we say Kucha. Everywhere we say Kucha, Kucha, Kucha. It is not that an adult looking at a woman's sexual organ and say anything about it. It is a baby looking at a mother. Same way here, Shankaracharya looking at the mother and looking at our thing. Parikshina madhya, your parikshina, it becomes thinner. Madhya, waist becomes thinner. Madhya. Parinata Saraschandra Vadana, your waist is smaller, your face is like a moon, full Saraschandra moon, like a nice, beautiful moon. Dhanurbanam Pansam Sunamapi Dhanatva Karatala, your hands of Dhanurbanam, everything. Now, the real physical representation of the goddess has come. Pasa Pustaka Lansaka Sadaram is holding all of them. And so now this word is also what is that other ones we have? Kanat Kwanchi, the sound. The first primordial sounds are talked about. The Maheshra Sutrani. They're nothing but the 50 letters they become Matruka. The Matruka Ganas that we have, they are the primordial words. They have become finally Vasinyadi Vagdevatas in Lalita Sahasranamam. The walk, the Kanat Kinkani Mekala, Matraka Varna Rupini, Mano Rupekshu Kodanda, Panchatan Masanayaka. Okay, all those words in Lalita Sahasranamam are appearing here. In this one verse, Kanat Kinkani Mekala, Kanat Kanchidama, Matraka Varna Rupini. Okay, Champaga, Sokapunaga, they all are coming in this second verse, in this second verse. Okay. Now, let me quickly go. Yeah, ninth verse is very important for our Sreevidya. Mahi Mula Dhare, Kamapai Manipure, Putavaham Sitam Swadhisthane, Hruti Maruta, Akasa Mupari, Manopi Bhumadje, Sakalamapi Bitwa Kolapatam, Sahasare Padesa Harasi Satya Viharase. Okay, now he's getting into the science part of the Sreevidya, which is the body, how the energy chakras are there. Manipure, Mahim Muladhare, Mahim is Bhutatvam, Muladhare, it is at Muladhara. So your Bhutatvam is Muladhara. Kamapi Manipure, Kam is water, Manipure, Manipura has water. Now here is, now if you look at the yogic energy conduits, you have Muladhara, Swadhisthana, Manipura, Anahata, Vishuddhi, Agnya. Evolution, grossest, earth, water, fire, wind, and space, and mind. So if you match those two, Muladharam, Bhumi, water, Swadhisthana, fire in the belly, okay, fire, Manipura, and of course, wind is Anahata and space is Visuddhi. Okay, but here I need to do some more research. Shankaracharya is saying, Kamapai Manipure. He took Manipura as the residence of water tattva. Okay, Hutavaham, Hutam is fire. Hutavaham, Stitam, Swadhisthana. In Swadhisthana, you have fire principle. Hruti Maruta. Maruta is wind. Hruti, heart, which is your Anahata chakra. Akasam Upari. From the Anahata, on the top you have Vishuddhi, which is Akasha, space. So here he has given the 5 elemental forces, Tanmatras, Panchabhutas into the chakras, the residence of how they vibrate. Mana of a Bhumadje. Now this is called Manas. Bhumadje, Ajna Chakram is the residence of the mind, the mental energy. Okay. Sakalamapi Bitwa Kulapadam. Now, Kulapadam is the journey of this pranic energy through your Sushumna Nadi. Sushumna Nadi is called Kulapadam. Bitwa, Bisatandu Tanayasi. Like it's going through the small, narrowest port of inside the lotus stem. We have to take this energy from bottom to the top through Kulapadam. Okay, when you go there, Sahasrare Padmena Saharehase Patyarehase, you go to Sahasrara and you find infinite bliss. So he's talking about the Sreevidya I just talked about. How you have to take the Kundalini energy from the bottommost to the top. Then in the 11th, he talks about, generally say once you hit here, you're out. Right? Once you hit your Sahasrara, you have become, but generally you go back and forth. Number one. Because as we practice, you go there, then you come down, you go there, you come down. The 11th verse is, the 10th verse is the Adho Mukham, Adho Prayatnam, which is Sudha Sarai Sarai Chana Yogalantar Galitahi, Prapancham Sinchanti, Punarasamnaya Mahasa, Avapya Swam Bhumim Budaganeva Madhuscha Valayam, Swamatmanam Kutwa, Swamahishi, Swapihi Kolakande Koharani. The same that goddess here, when it vibrates, sinchanti, sechana, it is same English word satiate. Okay, it now is melting and falling down. It is satiating your whole panic energy, and finally it's coming down to Muladhara, and there it is residing in your natural state. Now, there are two ways to do that. Two ways to interpret this one. One, as you do up and down, you practice, you go there, you come back, do your everyday work. Again, practice, go there, come back, do everyday work. Like this, you keep doing. Number one. Number two, if you are nothing but the goddess themselves, you are, we say, in Indic philosophy, there's only God. Right? There's not there's one God, the only God. Everything is God only. We're also God. How did it happen? Same way. She came down because of the whole cosmic Maya. She came down through this. She finally decided in this one, you are nothing but goddess, and you are taken up. The two ways to interpret this verse. One is, as a sadhaka, you go up, come down, go up, come down, go up, come down, because you cannot stay in Nirvikalpa Samadhi if you are prarabdha all the time. So you come down, but you are now exercising better. Or how they started with, she came down. Okay. Then I'm going to skip to 21st verse. Okay, because those two have some correlation. Tadilleka tannim tapanasasi vaiswanaraya mamayim vishannam shanmam. Yeah. Mahanto, not this one. Okay. One more is given. Yeah. Shitau Shat Panchasat, the 14th verse. The 14th verse is the science, right? Shitau Shat Panchasat. Dvisa Adhika Panchasatudake. Hutase Dvashashtis Chaturadhika Panchasa Anile. Divi Dvishantisat Manasicha Chatushastvitiye Mayuka Sesha Mapupari Tava Padam Mujayagam. All mathematics in verse. This verse is full of mathematics. He's saying Chitau, Bhumi, Chat Panchasat, 56. Okay, Panchasat, 50, Shat, add. Okay, 56. Then Dvisada Adhika, Panchasat, Odake. Odakam means water. What is that? 2 more than 50. 52. Okay, there are 52 there. What is this? The energy that this energy that's coming down is coming down in our yogic parlance, goes through 71,000 or 72,000 nadis. I don't know how they got the number. They got the number. The flow of energy in our body, or roughly called nervous energy, there are 72,000 of them. They all go all over the body, come back at plexuses or chakras, again go, again come back, again. So they branch out. They start with one here and go branch out, again come back, again branch in, get there. The branching in is given the number of how they're branching in. It says at the bottommost Muladhara, the energy conduits of the vitality is coming as 56 nervous or nadis. Nervous is not real nadis. Then 52 at Udake, Manipura. Okay. Then he says, so what happened? 56 to 52, 108. Then you get Brahma Grandhi. Okay. So upon it, then he says, Putase Dwa Shastis Chaturadika. Okay. Shastis Chaturadika. So he's saying about 36 twice, 64. There are some poetic way of using words. There are 64 at Puta, at Swadhisthana. Okay. Then you have Chaturadika, Panchadasana Anile. Okay. You have again 54, Chaturadika, 54. Okay. So 72, 36 to 72 plus 54, whatever number it comes. Okay. 136, I think. Then you have the bottom part. Okay. Then he's talking about Divi Dishkanchas Manasika. So he's given some other number there. I'm unable to see this. Okay. If you look at all the numbers, first he's talking about first 108, 136, and remaining here, all add up to 360. 360 is the complete space. The space is 360 degrees. 360 also completes time, because 360 days in a year, the cyclic time. So 360 is the representation of space and time. Space and time, though appear as two, they're nothing but only one. That's what Einstein says. That 360 is nothing but the opportunity. What is space and time? Space and time are nothing but the opportunity. The opportunity to move became space. The opportunity to change became time. They appear as two different dimensions, but they're not actually, they're actually one in one. Space-time continuum is only one. That is nothing but an opportunity for things to happen, for things to change. You need both aspects for a change to happen, both change in space and in time. That 360 gives you the time, the opportunity part, the potential opportunity part. By saying this, all those things are encompasses space and time, the opportunity, and this is how they came and they went. They came and they went, and they came and they went. Okay, what you have to do? Each one has a sound, and you vibrate it, and from there you energize it. You regulate your energy flow and become better. What I'm saying. There's so much to talk. There's so each poem. I'm prepared more, but I already consumed a lot of time. I covered the Sreevidya part, the science part here. A lot of bhavana, the bhavana, bhavani bhavana gamya. We need that bhavana to make our life useful. Lot of poems gives you that ability to feel and also understand the cosmic nature, also understand the power you get. So like I said, like I compared with a knife, a vegetable knife, you will, Sankaracharya is promising that as you do this, without you asking for it, you will get certain powers. Now, in yoga, we have animadi, Anima, Mahima, Garima, we have Ashasiddhi. I can become huge, I can become small, I can become great, I can become heavy. Now, I want to interpret slightly differently. Anima, I can think very subtly. I can understand the minutest part. Mahima, I can become like Einstein, look at the big picture and understand the ways of cosmos. Okay. One way we say Hanuman Chalisa is that, oh, Hanuman became very big, Hanuman became very small, Hanuman become heavy. One way to interpret it. Other way is I get the ability by practicing this. Because for me, in our modern language, in the modern science, the science we know, I can't become a huge man or there's a lot of problem. I can't get into my car. Okay. So all of them are there. I can't become tiny. Though it's promising to get Siddhi that you become Anima, Mahima, Garam, I can't become heavy. I think by my limited understanding, if for me useful, this interpretation is more useful. That is, I can become understand very subtle things, Anima things. I can understand very big things. I can understand heavy things, gravitas, Garima. I get ability, Ashtasiddhi. I become very intuitive. I become very sukshma. I can become very probing. I can look at the big picture. Like a leader should be, I can see the big picture. Or an analyst, I can go very detailed and look at the very things. Very rarely you have a person that can see a big picture and go into very detailed. You get the ability. When you become a leader, a CEO, you can see the big picture and guide people. When you get to, when you have to roll up your sleeves and work, you can go to minute details. You can look at the gravity of situation. All those siddhis you get. You get Vak Suddhi. There is the 15th verse and 16th verse I wanted to cover, but I'm not covering. Talk about Saraswati. Nothing but in that he corresponds Sarat Josna. Starts at in that Sarat, Sara, Sri, and he compares her, he imagines her with a Jata Jotam. How many Saraswati we have seen Jata Jotam? You don't see that. Here he imagines Saraswati as Jata Jotam. Jata Jotam is nothing but in our alphabets E. And Josna, Chandra, the Bindu. So Sara, E, stream. So in that verse, by pictorial representation, Shankaracharya embedded stream. And in the next verse, he imagined as Aruna, Saraswati. And in that he embedded Aim Bijam. Aim Bijam is Vak Bijam. Okay. And if you do Vak Bijam, Aim Vadavada Vagvadina Namaha, Swaha, Aim Vadavada Vagvadi Swaha, Aim Vadava. When you take Sreevidya Upasana, they give you all these mantras as preparatory mantras. Okay. To get better, first get Saraswati so that you understand things better. This sound will give you that. And in 31st verse, he actually goes to Panchadasya mantra. He actually explains Panchadasya mantra in 3 kutas. Okay. Panchadasya has 3 kutas. Okay, he explains that. Ka e ila hrim, hasa kahala hrim, sakala hrim. These are the Panchadasya mantras. Now, Samuel Sarma Garu won't say this in the public, but others have said that. And we have time where we have Gayatri mantra as our ringtone. So it's okay to say that. So we will not say that. Even if I say Panchadasi, nobody is going to go and do that. It's okay. Lalita Trishati. Actually, Lalita Trishati is take these letters. Ka, E, Ila, Im. Every letter, first few letters start with Ka. Then E, E, La, La. So Lalita Trishati is nothing but Panchadasi. If you take first letters, they become 50 letters. Okay. So he embedded Panchadasi in 31st verse. He actually gave that in a very metaphorical way. And the Panchadasi, he put them into 3 kutas. First kuta, first 5 mantras becomes 1 mantra called Aim. Vagbhava kuta. Next becomes Sau. Lakshmi kuta, Kamaraja kuta, Lakshmi Devi. Because Kamaraja, Lakshmi, she gives all the interest you have. Then Kai Sakala Hrim Sekti Kutam, which you get in Lata Hasnama. Okay, I'm so clean. This 15 went into 3 parts, became the Bala mantra. If Bala mantra is given to everybody very easily. You don't need that much of initiation. Panchadasi you need, apparently. Okay, but Bala it get so instead of doing Panchadasi, you can say by in 31st verse the way he put them into 3 putas, which is correspond with Alta Sahasanamam. What is that? What is that? More kotalu? No, okay. I thought people know by heart. Okay, there are 3 kotas. Vagbhav kotamu, Sekti kotamu. They are from here to here is Vagbhav kotam. From here to here is Sekti kotam. From here to here is Kamaraj kotam. I'm clean sound. So you do Bala mantra, which is nothing but sound, vibratory sound. You direct the sound into your head and say, I'm, you are actually invocating Saraswati, which is what Sarasa, Saras, flow, the flow of thoughts, flow of words, the beauty, everything is coming here. So you do cream, you concentrate on your Moladhara, Shakti Kota, and you are actually vibrating your energy, Shakti. And you do sound, you concentrate on your this part, you are actually becoming more and more, your desires are getting fulfilled. You practice like this, so 31st verse, like this, in first 41 verses, you can see that the fundamental science of yoga, mantra, tantra, breathing, Sankaracharya, very beautifully embedded. The next 59, he takes every part of the body of Devi and extols it in a beautiful poetic brilliance and put together. If we study properly on the line with this whole thing I gave, it gives us. Now we don't have to study on the line. I was telling Sangeeta and others. We have to first do it. The first aspect of doing healthy, having healthy life is to make the first step. You walk 1 mile, first step. You keep on doing it without doing, you will do 2 miles. Start with simple tapasa, slowly you get music. Start with japam, simple pranayama, simple asana. So we get very greedy. We will take Kriya Yoga initiation. You get Kriya Mantra initiation. You go to Jaggi Vasudeva Garu, Sadhguru and take Isha Yoga meditation. We do that. We compartmentalize things. Because of that, we lack the holistic integrated vision, which is good. That is accelerator. But most of us, we don't do the basic exercise and we jump into high. And most of us, we gave up. Most of us got initiated into esoteric things, practices, and they're so time consuming and so difficult, we gave up. So the success for a spiritual practice is to get up in the morning, do simple exercise, sit, do 5 minutes of pranayama, do 5-10 minutes of mantra japa, and if you have time, do Sandhya Vandanam for Brahmins, and if you're not a Brahmana, do whatever is meant for you. Do that, and if you have some more time, read something, just do that. The mother, actually one of the words comes there, mother will take care of you. You will find while you're browsing, a YouTube pops up with some beautiful talk. Wow, I'm thinking about this. How did it pop up? It comes up. You will find somebody talking about one guru. Opportunities open up. You have to start doing things. In any field of life, you want to invest, start spending time in investing. Do small. Automatically, your WhatsApp groups become investment groups. Without knowing, automatically. That is the beauty of sadhana. You start very slow, without you knowing, you form a group like this, who are like-minded people, will help you. This is called grace of mother. Another way of saying same thing is that You start very small. Don't give up. Every day, just like you eat food, you take a bath, you brush your teeth. Do this. I tell my kids, don't prioritize this. Don't say, I go to gym today. When I'm 50, 60, I'll do Ganja Vandanam and Dalta Hasanam. Don't do that. It won't work. I'm the right, good example. That by postponing when you're 60, it won't work that efficiently. Don't prioritize it. Understand the holistic vision of sages. Every day, start from the beginning, do all of them. 5 minutes only, pranayama. 5 minutes exercise. 5 minutes japam. Sound vibration. 5 minutes, the Saranagati I talked about. Cultivate the bhavana so that you can let go ego. Do that. You cannot get this bhavana when you are 60. Very difficult. Very, very difficult to get the proper that bhavana. Not as obsequious dasoham. Most of us see the bhavana, the devotion as dasoham. I am your servant. I am your servant. Dasoham should lead to soham. I am you. You have to let go of the and go to soham. That is the vision. But unless you get dasoham, very difficult to get soham as an experiential knowledge. As an intellectual knowledge, you can get I am equal to God. That is very easy to get. Aham Brahmasmi is very easy to get with the modern science. But as an experiential knowledge, unless you get dasoham, soham is very difficult. Only Ramana Maharshi and Jiddu Krishnamurti probably had gotten it. But for us, dasoham, that you won't get unless you read Bhagavatam, unless you read Puranas, unless you read them, you don't develop a relationship with the object of your veneration. Unless you know that Rama did such great things, you won't like him. To know that Rama did, in order to like the object of veneration, you have to read the story of Rama, story of Krishna, Devi Mahatyam, Choparan. You have to read them. When you read them, you make your first step of the Asoham. But you also keep the original purpose outlined, that you have to become fully happy, a complete person, as Vishwarupa, Aradhana, then Dasoham will invariably guaranteed, as Krishna said in 66th verse. Okay, I promise, he said, Ma Suchaha, Aham Tva Sarva Papyabhyo. I will guarantee that your Dasoham will become Soham. You become complete. With this, Arunam Karuna Tarangitakshim, Bhutapasam, Pushpana Japam, Anivadi Mayuta Mayukai, Aham Iti Eva Bhavani. So, with that, mother, I thank all of you for giving me this opportunity to share a little bit I know, with the hope that you will do any Savana Manana with a little bit a different paradigm of thought. And hopefully together we can fulfill Swami Vivekananda's vision of making India the Vishwaguru. How? By bringing the knowledge as our Brahmanatva, knowledge as the superior goal, and the instrument for knowledge for Sanskritam and the Sanskrit literature that we have, huge literature. This is one book, one small book of 100 verses. There are thousands of books, 100 of them written by Shankaracharya himself. There are like so many of them. Each one itself is good enough. That is the length and breadth of Sanskrit literature. So we hope that we become role models and inspiration to our kids. We can talk to them in this language, tell them don't prioritize like this, don't compartmentalize this, it becomes too late. Start when you are young, and you will become a better torch bearer for happy society. Thank you. Everybody on the Zoom, if you have anything to add, we can add. Otherwise, we'll close the